me some cash, Jay.
Ain't no drawing back, it ain't no switching sides. It's life or death, good or evil, now you decide. It's all or nothing, ain't no bluffing, yeah, do or die. So go to war with Elka, now you know that's suicide. It ain't no drawing back, it ain't no switching sides. It's life or death, good or evil, now you decide. It's all or nothing, ain't no bluffing, yeah, do or die. So go to war with Elka, now you know that's suicide. You a servant or an agent, I'm running out of patience. These doctrines getting flagrant, I'm looking for a saving while others seeking payments. Straight and narrow pace in the kingdom, what I'm chasing. Do you know what we facing if we don't get it right? Repentance, stay prepared, he come like a thief in the night. True soldiers, stay ready, you can't pretend in a fight. Use the weapons that he left us on his ascent to the height. Bro, let's keep it real. If you don't study for the test, then you won't get the seal. Salvation only meant for those to who it's been revealed. Little children, it's the last time you wanna live or die. It's time to pick a side. Ain't no drawing back, it ain't no switching sides. It's life or death, good or evil, now you decide. It's all or nothing, ain't no bluffing, yeah, do or die. So go to war with Elka, now you know that's suicide. It ain't no drawing back, it ain't no switching sides. It's life or death, good or evil, now you decide. It's all or nothing, ain't no bluffing, yeah, do or die. So go to war with Elka, now you know that's suicide. Follow the shepherd, he'll never leave the sheep behind. Can't avoid that ditch when the blind lead the blind. Ayy, walk in your purpose, we was called to be divine. The end is here, but they can't see the signs. I wonder why. Can't reach the goal if you don't do the work or hate to try. Without the law, it ain't no way you can escape the fire. Judgment is coming, ain't no running, and you can't hide from it. I'm just keeping it 100. You might laugh now, but later it won't be funny when you get rewarded for bowing down to abundance. Ayy, eternal life or death, it's yours to choose. The Bible holds the clues, salvation of the Jews. Ain't no drawing back, it ain't no switching sides. It's life or death, good or evil, now you decide. It's all or nothing, ain't no bluffing, yeah, do or die. So go to war with Elka, now you know that's suicide. It ain't no drawing back, it ain't no switching sides. It's life or death, good or evil, now you decide. It's all or nothing, ain't no bluffing, yeah, do or die. So go to war with Elka, now you know that's suicide.
Long live the King of Kings, Lord of Lords.
Long live the King. We kill today. Sons of light.
Don't boast on knowledge, stay conscious. Don't gravitate towards violence. We here today and gone tomorrow, cause it ain't no promise to no man. My people damaged, they popping X and crunching Xanax and having babies. Oh Lord, save us, no hope for our generations. But through you I found page, basic instructions on what you gave us. Hey, keep the team and love your neighbor. Honor the king and have your staff and your boots laced. They sent for sin, walking backwards in these last days. Pray for repentance on your mind, gon' stay a slave. You choosing streets over the Bible, you reaching for death. Learn to gain some control of yourself, cause it all just a test. Long live the king. Cause it all just a test. Long live the king. Cause it all just a test. Long live the king.
I ain't worried about no war partner, I warm my brain. The only thing missing is clips, but it's strapped with propane. Had a conversation with soul over who is at blame. On spiritual locks on the brain, psychological change. Gotta aim to be saved before that date to the grave. And that pride had me puff, my God deflated my ways. If seeing the wage of the death, I guess that's minimum wage. Some still wouldn't change from that knowledge obtained. See the Abraham and wrong, so you don't lose your focus. Cause what I notice, some give the word with selfish motives. Let's have the knowledge, so they would never know they chosen. Live for dead, check the grade, the king is rosing. Pressure make diamonds, what's more precious than your conscience? When you press against the conscience, you can press up all the diamonds. I'm blinded, the heart is astonished. The sins of our father, who defend the mothers.
Born in an era embodied through Tupac songs like Picture Me Rolling. Not in the house before the street life, for sure it's getting me scolded. Taught never to bite my tongue, but learned this wisdom to hold it. The age when of Michael Jordan phase and we started getting the Kobe. Cross colors with the X-hats, looked like our vision was focused. Figured out how to get on these beats with words intricately coded. Learn the most about enemies from the people that's closest. Still righteousness is the thing and vengeance isn't the focus. No knowledge of who we was, ain't know what people was chosen. Cast out cause covenant not kept, the mission was broken. What we worth is missing purpose, goals missing components. We ain't find a way to cope, now folk gone missing the doping. Poverty and white supremacy left us viciously molded. Progress purposely stagnated, the vision was golden. Poverty and white supremacy left us viciously molded. Purposely stagnated at a time when the vision was golden.
Perpetual source, I'm talking this incredible force. When predetermined, the outcome's the same, no matter the choice. So don't compare, just be aware of a flattering voice. I'd rather sit back and kick it so we can laugh and rejoice. Said in this wicked world with vengeance, yeah, you have to destroy. Can't go tit for tat, if instead I wouldn't be standing here, boy. Why love your neighbor as yourself, cause he commanded it, boy. Don't wanna hear your constant complaint, it be pain in my joy. Been fly before the plane is deployed. Niggas tripping, cause they won't listen unless I may be a Floyd. Born a grown man, but mama tried to make me a boy. Off the pot, the building blocks and started playing with toys. Big timers still got that work, can't find a place to employ. Crazy, I got the peace, but not a place to enjoy. Read, and please believe, and you can see the McCoy. But it's the message from the blessed, better receive it with joy.
This not a hustle, more like for the Lord to touch you. He got the muscle, my advice not to make a tussle. The living water should take a swim in this mighty puddle. You might rebuttal and get a show if your Brian Gumble. My people fumble, keep looking out, this a slimy jungle. The lake is hot, but now he's screaming he wants the gumbo. His word is jumbo, what's a matumbo? Quick, no slow-mo, cancel the boat, go get X like Romo. Now who is so-so, his death was foretold. His word a war hoe, they leading more gold, they wells before go. Yeah, see y'all that solo, his will must go. Can't call no popo, he saw that's Roho and Christ my cargo, yeah.
This then is the message when we have heard of him and declare unto you that God is light, and in him there's no darkness at all. 1 John 1:5.
Yeah. Long live the King of Kings, Lord of Lords.
Long live the King. Today, sons of light.
Don't boast on knowledge, stay conscious. Don't gravitate towards violence. We here today and gone tomorrow, cause it ain't no promise to no man. My people damaged, they popping X and crunching Xanax and having babies. Oh Lord, save us, no hope for our generations. But through you I found page, basic instructions on what you gave us. Hey, keep the team and love your neighbor. Honor the king and have your staff and your boots laced. They sent for sin, walking backwards in these last days. Pray for repentance on your mind, gon' stay a slave. You shoot some streets over the Bible, you reaching for death. Learn to gain some control of yourself, cause it all just a test. Long live the king. Cause it all just a test. Long live the king. Cause it all just a test, long live the king.
I ain't worried about no war partner, I won my brain. The only thing missing is clips, but a strap with propane. Had a conversation with soul over who is at blame. On spiritual locks on the brain, psychological change. Gotta aim to be saved before that date to the grave. And that pride had me puff, my God deflated my ways. If seeing the wage of the death, I guess that's minimum wage. Some still wouldn't change from that knowledge obtained. See the Abraham and wrong, so you don't lose your focus. Cause what I notice, some give the word with selfish motives. Let's have the knowledge, so they would never know they chosen. Live for dead, check the grade, the king is rosing. Pressure make diamonds, what's more precious than your conscience? When you press against the conscience, you can press up all the diamonds. I'm blinded, the heart is astonished. The sins of our father, who defend the mothers.
Born in an era embodied through Tupac songs like Picture Me Rolling. Not in the house before the street lights to show us getting me scolded. Taught never to bite my tongue, but learned this wisdom to hold it. The age of Michael Jordan phase and we started getting the Kobe. Cross colors with the X-hats, looked like our vision was focused. Figured out how to get on these beats with words intricately coded. Learn the most about enemies from the people that's closest. Still righteousness is the thing and vengeance isn't the focus. No knowledge of who he was, ain't know what people was chosen. Cast out cause covenant not kept, the mission was broken. What we worth is missing purpose, goals missing components. We ain't find a way to cope, now folk gone missing the doping. Poverty and white supremacy left us viciously molded. Progress purposely stagnated, the vision was golden. Poverty and white supremacy left us viciously molded. Purposely stagnated at a time when the vision was golden.
Perpetual source, I'm talking this incredible force. When predetermined, the outcome's the same, no matter the choice. So don't compare, just be aware of a flattering voice. I'd rather sit back and kick it so we can laugh and rejoice. Said in this wicked world with vengeance, yeah, you have to destroy. Can't go tit for tat, if instead I wouldn't be standing here, boy. Why love your neighbor as yourself, cause he commanded it, boy. Don't wanna hear your constant complaint, it be pain in my joy. Been fly before the plane is deployed. Niggas tripping, cause they won't listen unless I may be a Floyd. Born a grown man, but mama tried to make me a boy. Off the pot, the building blocks and started playing with toys. Big time, I still got that work, can't find a place to employ. Crazy, I got the peace, but not a place to enjoy. Read, and please believe, and you can see the McCoy. But it's the message from the blessed, better receive it with joy.
This not a hustle, more like for the Lord to touch you. He got the muscle, my advice not to make a tussle. The living water should take a swim in this mighty puddle. You might rebuttal, then get a show if your Brian Gumble. My people fumble, keep looking out, this a slimy jungle. The lake is hot, but now he's screaming he wants the gumbo. His word is jumbo, watch some tumbo. Quick, no slow-mo, cancel the go get X like Romo. Now who is so-so, his death was foretold. His word a war hoe, they leading more though, they wells before go. Yeah, see y'all that solo, his will must go. Can't call no popo, he saw this roho and Christ my cargo, yeah.
This then is the
Kadosh fall on me, send down
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, doing the sound check. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Give me a second, let me check this sound, see what we sounding like.
fall on me.
All praise, glory unto the Most High. Like I said, Shabbat shalom. Giving all praise, glory unto the Most High Yah, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Jacob. Anybody listening, if that music in the background is too loud, let me know. Throw a 12 in the chat if it's too loud. Also, let me know if you can hear, good enough, but it's not drowning me out. Right? Here we go. Anytime I come on outside of the traditional Shabbat night lesson, we gonna let this play, man, and we gonna welcome the Ruach of the Most High into the extremes, into our homes, into our temples, into our minds, into our lives, and everything of our beings. Our praise, glory unto the Most High. Torah says Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. So y'all see the title, man. It's a Freestyle Friday. I had something totally different lined up for the night. I was gonna bring back out that 4th Maccabees and read through the rest of the 4th Maccabees. Give the breakdown of the mind pertaining to the reasoning behind the martyrdom and their giving of their lives as a sacrifice for the laws of the Most High, of the 7 sons and the mother, foretold in 2nd Maccabees chapter 7. Was gonna do that, but then I was scrolling through my little timeline or feed, whatever they call it on YouTube, and I ran across this short, and I watched this video and I was listening to it, and I was like, I sent it to my bro. I was like, got a new topic for tonight. You know what I'm saying? Let me turn this down a little bit because it's kind of throwing me off a little bit. I'll praise one unto the Yeah, so man, it's y'all. Anybody who's anybody should be familiar with Phillip.Anthony.Mitchell. who we call P.A.M, right? Should be familiar with him. And ran ran across this video, excuse me, ran across this video, and he anybody who isn't in agreement with the celebration of Christmas should be condemning it. They should not say, well, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Do it, but don't do it according to the cultural tradition. Do it for the sake of the gospel, where the gospel doesn't preach or teach you to do what is being taught in this video. Right? So we gonna matter of fact, I'm gonna open up with this video so y'all can get a little insight and understanding on what I'm speaking on, and then we're gonna grab some historical things, and of course we're gonna get some scriptures and breaking down why we shouldn't do what this guy is telling us or exhorting or even encouraging people to do. This is why we can't have many shelves. We can't listen to everybody. We can't follow everybody. The elder was speaking on this earlier. It's going to be many false prophets. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Get this real quick. I pray y'all are having a blessed Shabbat out there. If y'all are not privy to keeping the Shabbat yet, I pray y'all having a blessed day and get some understanding on keeping the Shabbat so y'all can come into rest, come into the practice of resting with the Most High, so we can learn how to rest with Him for all eternity, if we be so chosen, and He be merciful and graceful to us to allow us into His rest. Right? So this is 2 Peter chapter 1 and 2 Peter chapter 2 in verse 1. I'm sorry. All right, it says, but there were false prophets also among the people. Now, this is in Peter's day, thousands of years ago. He said it was false prophets among the people then. The script tells us that there shall be no new thing done under the sun in Ecclesiastes 1. No new thing done under the sun. So if it was false prophets among the people then, you can very well for sure believe that there are false prophets among us now. And if the Messiah continue to tarry and he don't come before our generation passes, there will be false prophets in the next generation, and so on and so forth. So we have to be aware of these things. We have to be mindful. We have to get in our book and read and study the prophets of the Most High. Right? Verse 1. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you. Shall be. When you say shall be, it will be. It's going to be. It's something that hasn't happened yet, but it will happen. So even Peter, even in his day, is prophesying and telling us in our day that there will be false teachers among us. Right? What they gonna do? What these false teachers gonna do? Who privately shall bring in damnable heresy. What is a heresy? What is a heresy? Right? Y'all see the Greek word, right? Heresis.
Strong's G 139. Hyresis.
Yeah, what he said. And I ain't good at rolling my tongue. Hyresis. Right? It says, The act of talking, capture, storming a city. For example, storming a city, choosing or choice, that which is chosen. A body of men following their own tenets, a sect or party of the Sadducees, of the Pharisees, of the Christians, right? Dissensions arising from diversity of opinions and aims. This is what we focusing on right here. They shall bring in damnable dissensions arising from diversity of opinions and aims. Their own personal goals and what they're attending and purposing to achieve. Not what the scripture is saying, not what the will of the Most High is calling us to do, but their own opinions goals. Right? It says properly a choice, that is, especially a party or abstractly this heresy, which is the Greek word itself, sect. Right? Let's go back to this. I need a strong draw. Right? So they shall privily bring in damnable dissensions according to their own opinions and aim, right? Even denying the master that bought them and bring upon themselves swift destruction. So how would they deny the master that bought them with Christmas? Well, we gonna see in this video what he says, and we all know what the tradition of Christmas is and where it stems from. They say they're celebrating Christmas because it is the birth of Christ. This is the day Christ was born. Well, how did you know? What told you? And what Bible scripture did you find? It says Christ was born on December 25th. In his, what the Catholic Church calls his nativity. Where is that described? Where is that at? And I'm going to pose another question, either throughout the course of or after we watch this video. But let me finish this verse, right? It says, even denying the master that bought you, bring upon themselves swift destruction. Swift destruction. And many shall follow their pernicious ways. Many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. Let me say this. It says, many shall follow their pernicious ways. It's going to be many. It's going to be more of them that follow falsehoods and lies and false prophecies and false teaching than there are of them that follow the truth. It's going to be less people following the truth and more people following the lie. It's going to be less people following the instructions and commandments and statutes and judgments of the Bible than it is. And it's going to be more people following vain traditions. It's going to be less people doing and trying with all earnestness, with all of their might, in sincerity and in truth. It's going to be less people trying to do exactly what the Bible says, but it's going to be more people doing what they want to do and then turning around and saying, well, Christ nailed that to the cross. And then blaming everything on free will. This is a classic case of as thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. People are secretly worshiping Satan and claiming they're following the Messiah of the Bible. So who are they truly following? They following the Antichrist. Simple and plain. Simple and plain. Now, when I bring this information out, and one of the elders did a lesson on it, I want to say last year and a half ago, right? And the lesson is titled "Abstain from the appearance of all evil." We're supposed to abstain from all appearance of evil. All appearance. So when I bring this out, and anybody watches this live stream and sees and hears and reads this information that is presented and goes forth and continues on in the iniquity that they are participating and partaking in, and the blood is off my hands. This is what I'm talking. This is what I'm here. One of the purposes that I'm serving by doing these live streams. One of the purposes, right? Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 1. Again, the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people. Throughout these airways of the internet, on the streets, at the store, gas station, wherever I'm at. When you come into the knowledge of the truth, you've been called to speak to the children of your people, not every people, your people, and do what? And say unto them, when I bring a sword, when I bring destruction upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, right? So the people, when the Most High is going to bring destruction upon the land, and the people of the land, the children of Israel, take a man and set him as the watchman, right? If he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. And whosoever hears the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. So if somebody come to you, like I'm coming, somebody come to you and say, "Damn, we shouldn't do this. You need to repent. That's not in the Bible. That's not what the Most High commanded us to do. He commanded us to do this, that, and the third. We shouldn't be doing this. This is evil. This is pagan. This is rooted in Satanism." But you continue on in your wickedness, and you are going to be guilty of your own blood. You received the warning, right? What did he say? Verse 4. Verse 5, I'm sorry. You heard the sound of the trumpet, so you heard what the person that came, the watchman. You heard the watchman come to you, right, and give you warning. He blew the trumpet. He sounded the alarm, and took not warning. So you heard the warning, you heard the alarm, but you didn't. You heard the sound of the trumpet, but you didn't take warning. You didn't get prepared. You didn't turn away. You didn't seek refuge. His blood shall be upon him. But he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. So that person that heareth, right? So that person that heareth the warning, that heareth the sound of the trumpet, and repents, you shall deliver your soul. Right? Verse 6, but if the watchman see the sword coming, and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity. But his blood will I require at the watchman's hand. So look, Most High saying right here, if the watchman see the sword come and he don't blow the trumpet, and the people don't be warned. When the sword come and take any person from among them, that person that's in iniquity gonna be taken away. They gonna die in their iniquity. But guess what? That person that was in their iniquity and was taken away, their blood is gonna be required at the watchman's hand. So now the watchman who didn't blow the trumpet is responsible for that person dying in their iniquity. Why? What didn't he do? Leviticus chapter 19. Leviticus chapter 19. Where is it? Right here. Leviticus chapter 19, 16. I'm gonna read 16 through 18. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people. There's a lot of that going on. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Most High. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise, that's for whatever reason, rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. So if your brother or your sister is in iniquity, you shall in any wise, in any way, rebuke your neighbor and not suffer sin upon them. Right, verse 18, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. When you want your neighbor, when you want somebody, if you was going off, if you was in danger of dying and being reserved for the lake of fire, when you want somebody to tell you, hey man, you're going off, you need to repent. No matter how it's said, you should do it for your neighbor if you love your neighbor. Or even if you love yourself. You're supposed to love your neighbor as you love yourself. This is why the blood will be required at the watchman's hand. Because he suffered sin upon his neighbor and he saw the sword coming. He saw his brother or his sister in iniquity and didn't rebuke them. Now that person is going to be taken away, and the watchman, that person's blood, that brother or that sister's blood is going to be required at the watchman's hand. Because you couldn't do something as simple as say, according to book, chapter, and verse, this is not right. This is not the will of the Most High. We shouldn't be doing it. And steer them in the direction of what we should be doing. That person that died in their iniquity, you're going to have to pay for it. Yeah, they're going to be judged, but you're going to pay for it. So this right here is me. For anybody that has this same mindset as the 2819 church. In this video that I'm about to play in a few seconds, anybody that has this mindset, right now you need to repent. Anybody who thinks what is being spoken on this video that's about to play, you need to repent. You're drawing closer and closer. The Messiah is, the days are vastly approaching. A lot of us don't want to hear it, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Y'all check this out. Hold on, let me stop sharing real quick. Let me remove myself and put this up here so we don't get copyrighted. Fair use. Fair use. Right? Fair use. You know, this is solely for teaching and research purposes only. Fair use. We're not seeking to gain any profit. or anything monetarily from the sharing of this video for use. All right. Y'all check these out. Check these out. Where is it?
Should we celebrate Christmas or not celebrate Christmas? Grace. Now, if you're in the pagan camp and you don't want to put up a tree and you don't want to celebrate Christmas, if that's your conviction, then don't. But don't crucify or slander brothers and sisters who choose to do that. And if you're in the Christmas camp and you want your tree and you want your lights, then do that. But don't crucify the brothers and sisters that choose not to do that. Don't slander them, non-essentials. Now, where do I land? Phillip.Anthony.Mitchell. Let me tell you where I land. Okay? Here's where I land. I don't think I've ever met a person who does not celebrate their birthday or post about their birthday or bring friends and family around their birthday or get a cake for their birthday. It is normal for human beings to celebrate their birthday. Do we know the day that Christ was born? No. Do we know the month that Christ was born? No. But me, Phillip.Anthony.Mitchell, I am glad that at least there is one day in the calendar year in which we have chose to celebrate the incarnation of God in the flesh. It could have been in December, it could have been in January, it could have been in March. Doesn't matter to me. At least someone had enough common sense to at least set apart one day of the year in which we would at least commemorate the incarnation of Christ. So if you want to throw out the tree, throw it out. But should we throw out the celebration of the incarnation of Christ if your birthday is good enough to celebrate? I already know DMs and emails are coming, and I'm ready for them. If your birthday is good enough to celebrate, for everybody who's legalistic, is there anything pagan about at least acknowledging, whether it's on the 25th, the 23rd, or February, at least there is a physical day in which on that morning my family and I will at least sit down and talk about the fact that God came to us in the flesh. And if that is an issue for you to celebrate, then you don't do that. But this week will be a week of joy for me.
Did y'all hear that? Malarkey. Did y'all hear that? See, I want to play it on YouTube so I can pause and break it down bit by bit. Hold on, let me do that. Let me do that. Hold up. That was ridiculous. Oh man. Oh, boy.
Celebrate Christmas or not celebrate Christmas? Grace.
Should we or should we not celebrate Christmas? He's saying that the choice that we have to do either or is grace. No, it's free will. What you call it? That's free will. You've been given a choice. All right, let me show you what a choice is in the Bible. All right, share this tab instead. Show you what a choice is. Where I'm at. Matter of fact, let's go to Moses. Let's go to Moses. Well, I really don't want to read this whole chapter. I'm gonna start at verse 5. Exodus 19 and verse 5, right? It says, now, therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my commandments, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And ye shall, now it's not talking to everybody, right? In the third month, when the children of Israel, so who the Most High is talking to, the children of Israel. But anyway, verse 6, And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and an holy nation. Holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto who? The children of Israel. All right. Verse 7. And Moses came and called for the elders of the people and laid before their faces all the words which the Most High commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, what? They came together in their free will and said, all that the Most High has spoken will we do. And Moses returned the words of the people unto the Most High. And the Most High said unto Moses, lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee and believe thee forever. Huh? Forever. Aren't these words true? Because we're still reading the books of Moses today. And Moses told the words of the people unto the Most High. And the Most High said unto Moses, go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and be ready against the third day. For the third day the Most High will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. And thou shalt set bounds unto the people round about, saying, take heed to yourselves that ye go not up into the mount, or touch the border of it. Whosoever touches the mount shall be surely put to death. There shall not an hand touch it, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through. Whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. When the trumpet soundeth long, they shall come up to the mount. Boy, so many nuggets. I'm see so many nuggets in what I just read. Not here to break that down. That's another lesson for another day. Verse 14, and Moses went down from the mount unto the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, be ready against the third day. Come not at your wives. That's it. And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunderings and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. We got sword and trumpet in this verse right here. I wonder, did people take the warning? Take heed to the warning at the sound of the trumpet. Verse 17, and Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with Elohim, and they stood at the nether part of the mount. Right? And Moses, in Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Most High descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long and waxed louder and louder, Moses spake, and Elohim answered him by a voice. And the Most High came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mount. And the Most High called Moses up to the top of the mount, and Moses went up. And the Most High said unto Moses, go down, charge the people, lest they break through unto the Most High to gaze, and many of them perish. Remember, because, the people is not supposed to come to the mount nor touch it, right? And let the priests also, which come near to the Most High, sanctify themselves, lest the Most High break forth upon them. And the Most High said and Moses said unto the Most High, the people cannot come up to the mount, for thou chargest us, saying, set bounds about the mount and sanctify it. You see, Moses is obedient. And the Most High said unto him, away, get thee down, and thou shalt come up, thou and Aaron with thee, but let not the priests and the people break through to come up to the Most High, lest he break forth upon them. So Moses went down unto the people and spake unto them. Right? Boom. Now we know what happened when Moses went up into the mount. He received the law. Long story short, let's get to it. Exodus chapter 20 in verse 18. Now, after Moses received the fiery law written by the hand of the Most High, this happened. Verse 18, and all the people saw the thunderings and lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not Elohim speak with us, lest we die. What Moses say? And Moses said unto the people, fear not, for Elohim is come to prove you, that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. He didn't say the Most High came to make sure you didn't sin, to hold your hand and keep you in the way. No, he said to make sure that to prove you that his fear may be before your face, that ye sin not. This is free will. Right? Let's get another. Let's get another one. Joshua. Let's go to Joshua. Very famous. Joshua chapter 24. Right? This is free will. Right? Because even though the Most High is presenting you with these commandments, laws, statutes, and judgments, he giving them to you, you don't have to keep. I mean, you very well should. You need to, but you don't have to. You definitely should. This is free will. Right? He give you a commandment and he let you choose. Right? Joshua chapter 24 and verse 14. Now, therefore, fear the Most High and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye the Most High. See? This is a command. Hey, stop all that idolatry. Put away the gods which your father served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve the Most High. Stop celebrating Christmas and serve the Most High. Stop thinking that it's okay to celebrate your birthday and serve the Most High. It's free will. Right? Verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Most High, choose. Ain't that free will? Choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Most High. We gave our free will to him because we choose to serve him. Let's get another one. You would have read this earlier. Second, is it First Kings? Yeah, First Kings chapter 18. You would have read this earlier. First Kings chapter 18 and verse 21. And Elijah came unto all the people and said, how long halt ye between two opinions? If the Most High be Elohim, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word. See, this is what a lot of people gonna do. They ain't gonna be able to answer you. They're not gonna be able to answer you a word because they don't know who they want to follow. But we know who we gonna follow. How do we know who we gonna follow? John chapter 10. I'm getting a little off course, but I'll pray going on to the Most High. John chapter 10. John chapter 10, where I want to go. John chapter 10 and verse 24, right? So long story short, the Jews came to the Messiah. They came to him and, They was asking him, they always asking him questions. But this question right here, they wanted him to be more specific. Get straight to the point. All right, John chapter 10 and verse 24. Then came the Jews round about him and said unto him, how long dost thou make us to doubt? If thou be the Messiah, tell us plainly. Well, sir, who's supposed to be studied, trained up in Torah and well versed in the prophecies and the writings, Torah and Tanakh, I've healed the sick. I've cast out devils. I've caused the lame man to walk. I've caused the blind to see. The gospel is preached unto the poor. What more do you want me to do? But check out the Messiah's answer. Hamashiach answered them, I told you, and ye believe not. I told you. Made it utterly clear. Huh? When the disciples of John came to the Messiah and asked him, they said, John sent us to you and told us to ask you, are you the Messiah? He said, you go and tell John, the lame walk, the blind see, the deaf hear, the sick are healed, devils are cast out. That's what you go tell John. Then John will know if I'm the Messiah or not. Hamashiach answered them, I told you, and you believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. Right? This is how we know we've made the choice. It says, but you believe not, because you are not of my sheep. As I said unto you, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. This is how you know you've made the choice to serve the Most High, because you hear his voice. When he tell you something wrong, or he give you that, what's that, that spiritual intuition, that discernment that something is off, and gives you the inclination that yes, that understanding that yes, this is what this is saying. This is what I want you to do. Or this is what I want you to stay away from. Then you are his sheep. And this is why you follow him. And this is why you try to mimic his actions and walk in the paths that he walked in perfection, because you're his sheep. You don't try to do your own thing. You try to do what he did. That's how you know he is your shepherd and you are his sheep. Right? I get back to it. Let me get some more of this. Right? So that grace is a period of time. Right? Let's get that. Let's get the definition of grace. We're gonna get the definition of grace. Now, I don't want the biblical definition, because I can go to the blue letter and define grace. Right? We can do that. People think grace is a new. Noah found grace in the Old Testament. What is grace? Favor, grace, charm, favor, grace, elegance, acceptance, right? Graciousness, subjective kindness or favor, or objective beauty. Favor, gracious, pleasant, precious, well favored. Let's go and see what it is in the New Testament. Let's go all the way here. Grace is the same word, 5485. Yep. Grace. Charis. Grace, that which affords joy, pleasure, delight, sweetness, charm, loveliness, grace of speech. Well, we know the Most High ain't finding grace in those that celebrate their birthdays or choosing to partake in paganism and idolatry. He ain't finding that ain't that which affords joy. The Most High ain't finding joy or pleasure or delight, sweetness, charm, and loveliness in you worshiping another God. You ain't getting no goodwill from the Most High or loving kindness or favor from the Most High by participating in paganism and idolatry, right? Says of the merciful kindness by which Elohim, exerting his holy influence upon souls, turns them to Hamashiach, keeps, strengthens, increases them in Christian faith, knowledge, affection, and kindles them to exercise of the Christian virtues. How are you doing something that is not written in the Bible? That is not, you can't find not one instruction for you to do this in the Bible, but the Most High is giving you merciful kindness and exerting holy influence upon your soul, turning you to Hamashiach, keeping, strengthening, and increasing you in the biblical faith, knowledge, and affection, and kindling you to exercise righteous virtues. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Now, if you're in the pagan camp and you don't want to put up a tree and you don't want to celebrate Christmas, if that's your conviction, then don't.
If you're in the pagan camp, and you don't want to put up a Christmas tree, well, buddy, the putting up of Christmas trees and the celebration of Christmas came from pagans. So guess what the pagans are going to do? Just that. How is a pagan going to stay away from paganism? They're going to do what pagans do. See, this is someone who has good speech and philosophize.
But don't crucify or slander brothers and sisters who choose to do that.
We gonna talk bad about any pagan and all paganism, right?
And if you're in the Christmas camp and you want your tree and you want your lights, then do that.
So this is the thing. In the Christian camp, when they want their Christmas tree and they want their lights, they're wanting the same thing that pagans want. Because Christmas trees and Christmas lights came from pagans. So what sense are you making? What sense are you making? What is your point? Let's get some more.
But don't crucify the brothers and sisters that choose not to do that. Don't slander them, non-essentials. Now, where do I land? Phillip.Anthony.Mitchell. Let me tell you where I land. Okay?
I'm gonna tell you where you land in a lake of fire if you don't repent.
Here's where I land. I don't think I've ever met a person who does not celebrate their birthday.
Well, you haven't met a lot of Hebrew Israelites. Now you got, sadly, you got some Hebrews. I'm not gonna call them Israelites. You got some Hebrew, like the elder call them, Hebrew lights that still think that it's okay to celebrate their birthdays. I strongly disagree. And we're gonna see why here in a minute. I strongly disagree. And I would strongly and earnestly, I would strongly and earnestly encourage anyone who does, anyone, whether you be Hebrew Israelite or quote unquote Christian, I'm speaking to my people. Repent. Repent. Because you're doing the devil's work. All right. And we gonna get the history of the cakes and the candles. We're gonna get all that.
Or post about their birthday. Or bring friends and family around their birthday. Or get a cake for their birthday. It is normal for human beings to celebrate their birthday.
Where did that come from? What is the history of celebrating your birthday? Is it biblical? Is it biblical to celebrate your birthday? Is it biblical for you to celebrate your birthday? What Bible book, chapter, or verse tells you to celebrate your birthday, or instructs you, or gives you any type of instructions, as I just said, on celebrating your birthday? I'll wait. Put it in the comments.
Do we know the day that Christ was born? No.
We don't know the day he was born. We don't know the day he was born, but
do we know the month that Christ was born? No.
We don't know the month he was born. We don't know the day nor month. Yet we have one.
But me, Phillip.Anthony.Mitchell, I am glad that at least there is one day in the calendar year in which we have chose to celebrate.
What he say? We have chose. We have chose. Let me tell you what you have done, Phillip.Anthony.Mitchell. You and all like you. Let me tell you what you have done, right? Matthew 15 and verse 1. Then came to Hamashiach, scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. But he answered unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of Elohim by your tradition? Huh? You are transgressing the commandment of the Most High by your tradition of celebrating birthdays. What commandment are you breaking? Exodus 20 and 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. 20 and 2, I'm tripping. Yeah, Exodus 20 and 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. And whether you believe it or not, when you celebrate your birthday, not only are you worshiping multiple gods, but you're causing everybody that's celebrating with you to worship multiple gods. We're going to get it. Matthew 15 and verse 3. But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of Yah by your tradition? This is what you're doing, Mr. Mitchell. When you choose a day to celebrate
The incarnation of God in the flesh.
Why can't you have a celebration every day? Why you gotta pick one day? Why you can't be happy every day? Why you can't praise the Most High every day for the incarnation of God in the flesh? Why can't you give the Most High praise every day for him sending his son to take on the sins of the world, to save his people from their sins? Right? Check him out.
It could have been in December, it could have been in January, it could have been in March. Doesn't matter to me. At least someone had enough common sense to at least set apart.
It don't matter what day it was. At least somebody had common sense to set apart one day
of the year in which we would at least commemorate the incarnation of Christ. So if you want to throw out the tree, throw it out. But should we throw out the celebration of the incarnation of Christ if your birthday is good enough to celebrate? Because I already know DMs and emails are coming, and I'm ready for them. If your birthday is good enough to celebrate, for everybody who's legalistic, is there anything pagan about at least acknowledging, whether it's on the 25th, the 23rd, or February, at least there is a physical day in which on that morning, my family and I will at least sit down and talk about the fact that God came to us in the flesh.
Why can't you sit down every day and talk about the fact that God came to you in the flesh? Why do you have to choose one day to wake up in the morning? This day, on the 25th of December, this is what we're going to do. We're going to wake up early in the morning and we're going to talk about the fact that God came to us in the flesh. But while we do this, we're going to put up a Christmas tree. We're going to wrap it with, gold and silver snot, and hang gold and silver balls, and put Christmas presents wrapped in red and white under the Christmas tree. We want to sing Christmas carol and play Christmas music, and we're going to cook abomination and chitlins and honey baked ham and all things abominable, and do everything that God told us not to do on this day. So he's saying, he's correlating Christmas with the celebration of one's birthday. He said, I don't know one person who don't celebrate their birthday or post on social media about their birthday. What's wrong with acknowledging? Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with all praise going on to the Most High for allowing me to live through another year. Right? Even King David said, teach me how to count my years. But celebrating, having an entire feast or festival, what they call a party, is a ritual to another god. It's a ritual. Any type of festival that is not a festival written in the Holy Bible is a feast to another god. Point blank and period. Point blank and period. I don't care who don't like it. I don't care if it don't make sense. If it's not a festival written in the Holy Bible and you having a feast for a specific reason, it is a feast to another god. If you just having a get together you know, you're getting some friends together, y'all want to come over and, you know, cook some food, and y'all just having to get together, sit down, drink some wine, you know, go over some scriptures or whatever. That's considered a feast. But if you haven't, it's your birthday. I'm gonna call some friends over. I'm gonna put on some specific clothes. Well, matter of fact, I'm gonna go to the mall and pick me out a birthday outfit. Playing all this raunchy music and getting a birthday cake and candles, and you know, you got your strong drink or your wine, whatever libations that you partake in. That is a ritual to another god. That is a whole ritual to another god, right? And let's prove that. Let's prove that. This right here is the Church of Satan website. Y'all see it right there. Church of Satan website. Their facts. FAQ on holidays. Right? The question: what holidays do Satanists celebrate? It says, since Satanism is a self-centered religion, the highest holiday of the year would be the Satanist's own birthday. The highest holiday of the year will be the Satanist's own birthday. Which needs no ritual, but should be spent in doing things that a Satanist would enjoy. There is no requirement that a Satanist celebrate any holidays, and there are no hard, fast traditions or rites associated with them. Since Satanism embraces nature, the other holidays a Satanist might choose to celebrate would be the seasonal turning points marked by the equinoxes and solstices, the dates of which vary from year to year, as well-known midpoints between these, which can be recognized as the climaxes of each season. All right? And you see all the other stuff. So, what is Christmas centered around? The winter solstice. Christmas is centered around the winter solstice. That's where Sol Invictus comes from. The victory of the sun. Because on December 25th, which is allegedly the shortest day in the year, in which the sun would go down earlier than any other day of the year, when the sun would rise, they would say the sun has began to get victory over darkness. All right. You just look this stuff up. Just look it up. Check this out. Says question: what about the Christmas holiday for the Satanists? The Christians stole this holiday from the pagans. This is a Satanist website. People who openly worship Satan. Pagans worship Satan. The Satanist says the Christians stole this holiday from the pagans. Santa Claus has come to signify indulgence, and he is a combination of Dionysus and Silenus from Roman and Greek myths. The Romans celebrated the orgiastic Saturnalia at this time. the Nazarene, or the follower of Christ, the Nazarene has little place in the general public's celebration of this season, which were meant by pagans to be celebrations of abundance during a season of cold and emptiness. Said the Nazarene ain't got no place, little to no place in these public celebrations of this season. So for the Yule holiday season, we enjoy the richness. They enjoy the richness of life in the company of people whom they cherish, as they will often be the only ones who know where the traditions really come from. Again, that is the church of Satan. Said Christians stole Christmas from the pagans. Then it goes on to say, one's birthday is the highest holiday of the year because Satanism is centered in self-centeredness. This is why I say you worshiping multiple gods. Not only are you worshiping Satan, but you're worshiping self when you celebrate your birthday. And Hamashiach, knowing this, why would he give you instructions on elevating yourself? It even tells you in the Bible, he who exalts himself shall be abased. That's what you're doing on your birthday. You exalting yourself. You making everything about you on this one day. Hell, some people even make it a whole month. It's my birthday month. How is it your birthday month? How do you have a birthday month? Let's get some examples of birthdays. Matter of fact, real quick. One scripture. Real quick. Let me share my screen. Shabbat Shalom, Aliyah. I ain't seen you in a minute, Hebrew. Mark chapter 12. Mark chapter 12, and I think I'm on verse 27. I'm going to read 26. Right? Mark chapter 12 and verse 26. As touching the dead, that they rise, have ye not read in the book of Moses how in the bush Elohim spake unto him, saying, I am Elohim of Abraham, and the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Jacob? He is not the Elohim of the dead, but the Elohim of the living. Ye therefore do greatly err. He is the Elohim of the living. Why do I read that? Hold on. Right? Why do I read that? Because let's go and read what happened on every account of someone celebrating their birth in the Bible. Let's go all the way to the beginning. Bereshit. Genesis chapter 40. Genesis chapter 40. I'm going to start at verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their master, the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butlers and against the chief of the bakers. And he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them. And they continued a season in ward. So what that, about 3 months? And they dreamed a dream, both of them, each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream, the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in ward of his master's house, saying, wherefore look ye so sadly today? Man, what's wrong with y'all? Why y'all so down? And they said unto him, we have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them, do not interpretations belong to Elohim? Tell me them, I pray you. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph and said to him, in my dream, behold, a vine was before me, and in the vine were 3 branches, and it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said unto him, this is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head and restore thee unto thy place, and thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand after the former manner when thou wast his butler. But think on me when it shall be well with thee, and show kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head. And in the uppermost basket there was all manner of baked meats for Pharaoh, and the birds did eat them out of the basket upon my head. And Joseph answered and said, this is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat the flesh from off thee. And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was what? Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants, and he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again, and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him. There's one account right there of a birthday and what was associated with it. It sure wasn't a lot of people living. But this man died on somebody's birthday. And what this got to do with the Most High? Because he said, he is the God of the living. Huh? Let's get another account. Matthew chapter 14. Matthew chapter 14. I'm going to start this at verse 1. All right. At that time, Herod the Tetrarch heard of the fame of Hamashiach, and said unto his servants, this is John the Baptist. He is risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him. For Herod had laid hold on John and bound him and put him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife. His brother Philip's wife. For John said unto him, it is not lawful for thee to have her. What is he speaking on? Leviticus 18, Leviticus 20, where it says, you shall not have your brother's wife. You shall not uncover your brother's nakedness. And when he would have put him to death, he feared the multitude because they counted him as a prophet. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before him and pleased Herod. So not only is he sleeping with his brother's wife, but now he's lusting for his niece. Verse 7, whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask. All right. So he's so hot in his lust for his niece that he said he would give her whatsoever she asked. Verse 8, and she, being before instructed of her mother, said, give me here John Baptist's head in a charger. And the king was sorry, nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it to be given her. And he sent and beheaded John in prison. There's another account of death on one's birthday in the Bible. These are the only accounts of birthdays in the Bible. And someone is dying on these days. Someone is being murdered on these days. Now, the other account, it doesn't explicitly say that they were celebrating their birthdays, but in John 1, let's read it. Not John, Job. Job chapter 1. Right? Job chapter 1. And I'm going to pick this up in verse 1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was a perfect and upright. That man was perfect and upright, and one that feared Elohim and eschewed, he hated evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels and 500 yoke of oxen and 500 she-asses in a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men in the east. Let me tell you something. If you had 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 she-asses, today, you'd be what they call a billionaire. All right. Verse 4 says, and his sons went and feasted in their houses, everyone his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. Everyone his, well, it said, well, these ain't birth. It says everyone his day. Of course, yeah, he had 7 sons. So somebody might say, well, one of the sons might have picked Monday for his day and the other one Tuesday. No, they celebrated everyone his day. And what happened shortly after? Verse 4. And it was so when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. Thus did Job continually. How would they curse God in their hearts? By feasting on everyone his day. How would they do that? Verse 6, Now there was a day when the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before the Most High, and Satan came also among them. And I'm gonna jump down. Right, I'm gonna jump down. In verse 13, it says, "And there was a day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, The oxen were plowing, and the asses feeding beside them, and the Sabians fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped to tell thee." All right, well, I'm trying to get where right here, verse 18, it says, "While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, Thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the four corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead, and I only am escaped to tell thee alone." So everywhere you see a celebration of one's birth, someone is either being murdered or dying. This ain't got nothing to do with the Most High. Nor can you find anywhere where Hamashiach told you to remember his birth. He didn't tell you to remember his birth. What did he tell you? Luke chapter 22. Sorry, y'all. Had a little sideline conversation over here. Luke chapter 22. Luke chapter 22, and I'm gonna start at 14. Luke chapter 22 and 14. "And when the hour was come, he sat down, and the 12 apostles with him, and he said unto them, With desire I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I say unto you, I will not any more eat thereof until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of Elohim. And he took the cup and gave thanks and said, Take this and divide it among yourselves. For I say unto you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of Elohim shall come. And he took bread and gave thanks and brake it and gave unto them, saying, This is my body, which is given for you. This do in remembrance of me." He was 33 years old right here. Can't find no other occasion of him telling you how or when to do something in remembrance of him other than this right here. If he wanted you to say, why he ain't wait until his birthday? Say, man, hey, look, we're gonna get together. I'm gonna turn all the water into wine, and we're gonna have a huge feast. This what you do in remembrance of me. No, he said, you take this bread, this unleavened bread, and drink this wine as it is. Take this bread as it is my body, and this wine as it is my blood, and this you do in remembrance of me. He didn't tell nobody to celebrate his birthday. If he did, we'd be doing it. We'd have been doing it. Even early let me get this. People who didn't even believe in the Messiah didn't celebrate his birthday. Y'all didn't find it. Let me read this. This comes out of the book of Josephus, the complete works of Josephus. This is against P.A.M. This is against P.A.M. book 2, and I'm gonna read. I guess this is chapter 26, right? It says, and indeed, the law does not permit us to make festivals at the births of our children, and thereby afford occasion of drinking to excess. But it ordains that the very beginning of our education should be immediately directed to sobriety. It also commands us to bring those children up in learning and to exercise them in the laws and make them acquainted with the acts of their predecessors in order to their imitations of them, and that they may be nourished up in the laws from their infancy and might neither transgress them nor have any pretense for their ignorance of them. Says the law does not permit us to make festivals at the births of our children. You can't find not one law, not one Bible scripture that tells you to celebrate not only your birthday, but the birth of your children. Either we're going to do what the Bible say or we're going to do what we want to do. You just read on the Church of Satan website that the birthdays are the highest holidays in their religion. You know what their only commandment is? Do as thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. So either you want to do as thou wilt or you want to do what the Most High command. Either or. Right? Check this out. It says right here, it might come as a surprise, but for most of Jewish history, celebrating a birthday was seen as about as un-Jewish as a ham sandwich. While modern Judaism has largely embraced the birthday party, the historical hesitation was rooted in a mix of bad biblical omens, a preference for legacy over potential, and a desire to avoid copying the neighbors. Yeah, that's right. Celebrating birthdays is pagan. That's what the pagans did. We just read the earliest account of someone celebrating their birthday is in Genesis chapter 40 with Pharaoh. That's the earliest account. Right? It says in the entire Hebrew Bible, there is exactly one birthday party mentioned. It belonged to Pharaoh. To make matters worse, the party featured an execution. Pharaoh had his chief baker hanged. Fast forward to the New Testament, the only other birthday mentioned is that of King Herod, which ended with the beheading of John the Baptist. For the Jewish people, the scorecard for birthdays was birthdays recorded 2, heads lost 2. Very, very bad. Because the only people celebrating birthdays in scripture were pagan tyrants, it became synonymous with the way of the Gentiles. That's a custom of the heathen. Right? I'm just reading this verbatim, right? Quote unquote, Jewish tradition, right? I'm going to say biblical tradition because we know we not Jewish. Biblical tradition historically prioritized the end of a life over the beginning, right? Even in when you read, see, even great men like Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, we don't have no accounts of them celebrating their births or anybody celebrating their births. When you read the account of when Jacob died in Egypt and how large his funeral procession was and how long it was, the end of his life was celebrated more than any other day of his life because he was a great man. Even Joseph, everything stopped in Egypt when Joseph died, and it was time for his funeral and his bones to be carried out of Egypt. Everything stopped. Everything. They didn't do that for his birthday. They did it at the end of his life. Why say ye? Let's see. What does the Bible say? What the book say? Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 1. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. It says the day of your death is better than the day of your birth. Why? Why? Life is full of toil and sorrows and pain. Now, depending on how you live your life, the day of your death gonna, you know what I'm saying? If you don't live it according to the law, statutes of the Most High, law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, the day of your death gonna be, you know, a day of anguish and mourning too, because you go from pain to pain. You go from torment to torment. But if you live righteously, the day of your death will be considered better than the day of your birth. And show why that is. Wisdom of Solomon chapter, I believe it is chapter 7. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7. Nah, it's chapter 3. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3. Right? Matter of fact, let's start this in chapter 2 to see why the ungodly shall go from torment to torment, and the day of their death will not be better than the day of their birth. Right? Those that celebrate their birthday continuously and won't repent, this is what you got coming. Right? Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 and verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. They reasoning with themselves, but it's not right with their reasoning. Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of the man, there is no remedy, neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. So basically, they're saying there ain't no resurrection, and in death, there is no remedy for death. So guess what? They're going to YOLO. You only live once, and they're going to do what they want to do. They're going to live their best life because they're ungodly. Verse 2, it says, for we are born in all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the movement of our heart. which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air. And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance. And our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun and overcome with the heat thereof. For our time is a very shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning, for it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again. Remember, this is the ungodly. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in youth. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass by us. Huh? They want to live their best life. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness, and let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. For this is our portion, and our lot is this. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objected to our infamy the transgressings of our education. He professes to have the knowledge of Elohim, and he calleth himself the child of the Most High. He was made to reprove our thoughts. Mhm. He is grievous unto us to be even to behold, for his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. Yes, they are. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. Indeed, he abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness. Show you right. He pronounces the end of the just to be blessed. Yep. And maketh his boast that Elohim is his father. Indeed. Let us see if his words be true, and let us prove what shall happen in the end of him. For if the just man be the son of Elohim, he will help him and deliver him from the hand of his enemies. Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture, that we may know his meekness and prove his patience. Let us condemn him with a shameful death, for by his own saying he shall be respected. Such things they did imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness hath blinded them. As for the mysteries of Elohim, they knew them not, neither hoped they for the wages of righteousness, nor discerned a reward for blameless souls. For Elohim created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. All right. So this is the ungodly. This is why the day of their death will be worse than the day of their birth. Because when they die, they're going to torment. They've lived their lives in luxury. They've oppressed the poor, the fatherless, and the widows. They've got riches by unjust gains. They live their life ungodly. But this is what the reward of those, this is why the righteous death is better than the day of his birth. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3 and verse 1. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Elohim, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery, and their going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace. For though they be unpunished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. This is why the day of one's death, the day of a righteous man's death, is better than the day of his birth. Hope is full of immortality. Verse 5, and having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded, for Elohim proved them and found them worthy for himself. As gold in the furnace hath he tried them and received them as a burnt offering. And in the time of their visitation they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their master shall reign forever. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Most High. For whoso despiseth wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain, and their labors unfruitful, and their works unprofitable. This is why the day of a righteous man's death is better than the day of a righteous man's birth. And the day of a wicked man's death is worse than the day of his birth. Because a righteous man's hope is full of immortality. He lived his life serving the Most High, worshiping and following the Most High, keeping his law, statutes, commandments, faithfully, intentionally, in sincerity and in truth. But a wicked man had no hope, had no faith, showed no love, and only oppressed and served himself. That's what a birthday is about, serving yourself. I'm just a messenger, right? It says, biblical tradition historically prioritized the end of a life over the beginning. King Solomon famously wrote in Ecclesiastes 7:1, a good name is better than precious oil, and the day of death than the day of birth. It says rabbis explain this with the two ships analogy. When a ship leaves the harbor, signifying the birth, there is no reason to celebrate because you don't know if it will survive the storms or complete its mission. When a ship returns to the harbor, symbolizing the death, with its cargo intact, that is when you throw the party. A birthday was seen as celebrating untapped potential, whereas a life well lived was the real achievement. In the Greco-Roman world, birthdays were deeply tied to astrology and idolatry. Pagans believed every person was born with a guardian spirit that was present at their birth. The birthday was a sacrifice to that spirit. The Talmud explicitly lists the birthday of kings as a pagan festival. The Jews were even restricted from doing business with pagans on these days to ensure they weren't inadvertently funding an idolatrous celebration. The historian Josephus noted that the Jews' law essentially discouraged birthday feasts because they often led to drinking to excess. Judaism prefers celebrations tied to mitzvot, like or the commandments like circumcision. Yeah, we don't do bar mitzvahs, a wedding rather than a celebration of the self. Right? I don't know what more to tell you. Are we gonna do what the Most High say? Or are we gonna do what we want to do? Do we want to live forever after we die, or do we want to live forever in torment? Do we want to live forever in peace and righteousness and prosperity, or do we want to live as we're dying after we die? Because if you're wicked, if you have unrepentant sins and you get condemned to death, to the lake of fire, it's going to feel like you died over and 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 over again. You're going to be begging for death and mercy, but it shall not be granted to you. They ain't going to be thinking about celebrating no damn birthday then. You're going to be too hot. You're going to have enough candles to blow out. All right? Check this out. We read this. I'm gonna read it anyway. I'm gonna read it again anyway. The first recorded birthday celebrations were not for a person's literal birth, but for their coronation. Ancient Egyptians believed that when a pharaoh was crowned, they were transformed into a god. This birth as a deity was far more important than their physical entrance into the world. The Hebrew Bible provides one of the earliest written accounts of this in Genesis 20 and 40, right? The Greeks adopted the concept of birthdays, but shifted the focus to their gods and goddesses. To honor Artemis, the lunar goddess, they baked moon-shaped cakes. To make the cakes glow like the moon, they added lit candles. They also believed that the smoke from the candles carried their prayers and wishes up to the heavens. Huh? See, this is why you today gather around everybody. They cut the lights out and bring the round moon-shaped cake with lit candles and set it in front of you and make you blow a wish. Make a wish and blow the candles out. You make a wish and blow the candles out, and what the smoke from the candles do? They go up. This is their tradition. They go up and they take their whatever wish up to the heavens. It's a vain tradition. All right. It says, while the Greeks eventually began celebrating the birthdays of prominent men, they maintained the belief that every person had a guardian spirit that attended their birth and watched over them. The Romans were the first to celebrate the birthdays of regular people. The Romans. See, this ain't got nothing to do with the Bible. This is also where you get Christmas and all these other festivals that people celebrate today from. So not only were they the first to celebrate birthdays, but they were the ones to bring you Christmas. And they just tied 2 and 2 together. They tied both of them together. We're gonna give you birthdays and Christ birth. We're gonna give you birthdays and Christ celebration on the same day. The Romans were the first to celebrate the birthdays of regular people, though initially only for men. They held lavish parties with honey and cheesecakes and popularized the tradition of gift giving. Women's birthdays historically were excluded from these celebrations. It wasn't until the 12th century that records show European women beginning to celebrate their birth dates. For the first few centuries, the Christian church, For the first few centuries, the Christian church viewed birthdays as pagan rituals. They believed that since every person was born with original sin, the day of birth was a day of sorrow rather than celebration. What King David say? I was shaping in iniquity, in sin did my mother conceive me. This is the grace that we have. We were born into this world of sin. We inherited that fleshly nature from our forefather and foremother, Adam and Eve, through their transgression. But this grace that we had an opportunity to get it right and walk before the Most High and be perfect. That's grace. I want to play it. I want to play the video just for that one part. All right. It says, this changed in the 4th century. So the Christian church viewing birthdays as pagan rituals changed in the 4th century when the church began celebrating the birth of Christ. Over time, the focus shifted from Saints' Day, celebrating the death of a saint, to celebrating personal birthdays in the 4th century. This is even after Christ. The modern birthday party, specifically for children, originated in Germany as Kinderfest. Germans added 1 candle for each year of life, plus a light of life candle for the upcoming year. So if a child was 5 years old turning 6, they would put 7 candles. Unlike today, the candles were kept burning all day long. At the end of the day, the child would blow them out and make a secret wish, a tradition believed to keep evil spirits at bay. That's witchcraft. I don't see anything I'm reading. I don't see anything biblical about what's being read about these birthdays. So let's see what he said again. Let me see what he. Let's see. What
Should we celebrate Christmas or not celebrate Christmas? Grace. Now, if you're in the pagan camp and you don't want to put up a tree and you don't want to celebrate Christmas, if that's your conviction, then don't. But don't crucify or slander brothers and sisters who choose to do that. And if you're in the Christmas camp and you want your tree and you want your lights, then do that. But don't crucify the brothers and sisters that choose not to do that. Don't slander them, non-essentials. Now, where do I land? Phillip.Anthony.Mitchell. Let me tell you where I land. Okay? Here's where I land. I don't think I've ever met a person who does not celebrate their birthday or post about their birthday or bring friends and family around their birthday or get a cake for their birthday. It is normal for human beings to celebrate their birthday. Do we know the day that Christ was born? No. Do we know the month that Christ was born? No. But me, Phillip.Anthony.Mitchell, I am glad that at least there is one day in the calendar year in which we have chose to celebrate the incarnation of God in the flesh. It could have been in December, it could have been in January, it could have been in March. Doesn't matter to me. At least someone had enough common sense to at least set apart one day of the year in which we would at least commemorate the incarnation of Christ. So if you want to throw out the tree, throw it out. But should we throw out the celebration of the incarnation of Christ if your birthday is good enough to celebrate? Because I already know DMs and emails are coming, and I'm ready for them. If your birthday is good enough to celebrate, for everybody who's legalistic, is there anything pagan about at least acknowledging, whether it's on the 25th, the 23rd, or February, at least there is a physical day in which on that morning my family and I will at least sit down and talk about the fact that God came to us in the flesh. And if that is an issue for you to celebrate, then you don't do that. But this week will be a week of joy for me.
Y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? My brother Mikael in the chat. Brother, did you hear that? Did you hear that foolishness? All right. Let me pull this up. Let me pull this up. We had this brother said this not too long ago, man. We have this supercomputer at the palm of our hands. There is no reason where we should not know anything. Most of us can't even put our phone down. We walk around, we have our phones on us 24/7. 24/7. And won't bother to do simple first, second, third grade research to save our souls. It's a shame. It's a shame. So check this out. 6 pagan festivals that people still, I ain't gonna say we, because me and my family, we don't do it. 6 pagan festivals that people still celebrate today. All right. And this comes from history.com. All right, it says it might feel like many holidays and festivals are just an excuse to spend money and let loose, but even the most commercialized public festivities can trace their origins back to ancient roots. Equinoxes, changes in the seasons, and astrological events have been observed by humanity for millennia as the natural calendar that dictated our very survival. The hardships that early humans experienced meant that each new season they survived was a cause for celebration. And anything they could do to ensure the survival of the next was vital. From observing the stars to determine the best time to begin planting crops to celebrations of the earth's abundance that gives life each spring and harvest season, some rituals became so ingrained into the fabric of human civilization that they can still be found in our modern day observances. Here are 6, just 6, pagan festivals that people still celebrate today. Halloween. Same people just celebrated this thing yesterday. Celebrated what we talking about right now. Instead of trick-or-treating, they trunk-or-treated. right? While Halloween has become synonymous with costume parties, excessive amounts of sweets, and all things horror, we can still very much find the origins of the pagan celebrations and how they celebrate today. Many of current Halloween traditions can be traced back to the ancient Celtic festival Samhain or Samhain. Once the final harvest of the year was complete, celebrations would begin that usher in the darkest season of the year. What is the darkest season of the year? Winter. Why? Because the sun is in the sky for less amount of time, for the least amount of time that it is all year. Right? In the winter, the sun, like right now in California, the sun goes down at like 4:45 in the afternoon. All right, so this is why it said what it said. All right, it's the darkest season of the year because there's more darkness than there is light, and that is almost literally and very figuratively. Right, and this is their time. This is their witching season. If you ain't know, the witch's New Year is November 1st. All right, it says ancient Celts or Celts also believed that on Samhain or Samhain, the veil between the living and the dead was at its thinnest, allowing otherworldly creatures and dark spirits to break through into the world of the living. This is where you get all these horror films and horror movies from. Right? They would burn fires through the night to burn away the darkness, leave offerings of food and treats to appease the spirits, and dress up as animals to confuse the faith folk that might try to cause them ill will. Wards were also used to keep angry spirits at bay, including turnips that were hollowed and carved into twisted and scary faces lit from inside with a candle. Well, people still do today. They carved them up some little pumpkins, put a little smile on their face. Yeah, you don't know that jack-o'-lantern was them people cutting somebody named Jack's head off, hollowing the head, taking the brain and the skull out of the head, and putting a candle in that head and sitting it on the porch as a lantern. That's where the jack-o'-lantern comes from. People still do that today. What they say? Christmas or Yule. Remember on the Church of Satan website, they said Christians stole Christmas from the pagans. On this website, we're talking about 6 pagan festivals that are still being kept today. It says before the festival of Christmas spread across the ancient Roman Empire around 336 AD, the winter solstice was marked with varying traditions across the European continent. The Anglo-Saxons and Celtics or Celtic populations of Britain celebrated the pagan festival of Yule. Not Soldier Boy. Yule, crack that soldier. Right? A nature-focused festival that observed the shortest day of the year and the continuing life of nature even during the darkest and coldest months of the year. Yeah, December and January. Coldest and darkest months of the year. Right? It's still cold in February, but it's, the sun gradually begins to be in the sky longer in February going into March. Right, so it's not, February is not as dark as January and February, but it's just as cold. It says typical Yule traditions included lighting the Yule log in the family hearth, decorating the home with wintry greenery like mistletoe, holly, and ivy, and gift giving. This is first, second century stuff right here that the Anglo-Saxons and Celts were doing. Before the 4th century in 336 AD. Right? What is the third? Hogmanay, or New Year's Eve, is a pagan festival? You mean to tell me New Year's Eve is pagan? What? Let's read. Every year on New Year's Eve, the streets of Scotland are filled with people celebrating Hogmanay. It's unclear where the origins of Hogmanay started, but it's believed that the festival evolved from a mixture of the Celtic Samhain traditions and the winter solstice celebrations of the Vikings who raided and settled in Scotland. Many of the Hogmanay traditions practiced included burning away the darkness of the light of the night with torchlit processions, music, dance, feasting, and first footing. What is first footing? What is first footing? Did they say in Scotland? Scotland, yeah. What is first footing in Scotland? Let's see. First footing in Scotland is a Scottish New Year's Eve tradition where the first person to cross the threshold of a home after midnight brings good luck for the year. They still do that to this day. They still do that to this day. Ideally, a tall, dark-haired man bearing gifts like coal, shortbread, salt, and whiskey, symbolizing warmth, prosperity, and good cheer stemming from old superstitions about Viking invaders. They still do that to this day. Still done today. First footing. And you know what those torchlit processions are today? Fireworks. The tradition of being the first foot through the door of friends and family to bring them luck in the year ahead. Okay, gave the definition right there. What's the next one? Valentine's Day or Lupercalia. What? Lupercalia or Valentine's Day is pagan? Also has a lot to do with death. More recognizable today as a holiday of chocolate and candy, sickly sweet greeting cards, and love hearts. The pagan origins of Valentine's Day were much less family friendly. Dedicated to the ancient Roman god Lupercus, protector of farmers and shepherds, Lupercalia was an ancient festival of fertility that traveled throughout the ancient Roman Empire. More than just a celebration of love between people, the ancient festival of Lupercalia was celebrated in mid-February to purify cities and ensure a fruitful and fertile year for both agriculture and the townspeople. Observances included feasting, ritualistic sacrifices of goats and dogs, and a naked run through the town where participants were flogged with strips of the flayed goat's skin. Easter. I know a lot of y'all know that Easter is pagan. Y'all know that. Y'all know Easter pagan. All right. Like Christmas, huh? Just like Christmas, Easter was adopted as the celebration of the resurrection of Jesus by Christianity around 300 AD. But it has a far more ancient pagan origin. Named for the Anglo-Saxon goddess, I don't know how to pronounce that. Y'all see it. Eostre. Easter was the time of year when pagans would say goodbye to long nights of cold and darkness and hello to longer and brighter days when food would begin growing in abundance. Much of the traditional iconography, there you go. Most of the traditional iconography that we associate with Easter today comes from pagan celebrations, including the Easter bunny. Eostre was often symbolized by a hare and not in hot cross buns that were baked in her honor. Oh, her honor. It sounds like in Jeremiah chapter 7, where the children of Israel were baking cakes to the Queen Mother of Heaven. Jeremiah 7 and Jeremiah 44. Hot cross buns were baked in her honor, and this cross symbolized the equal balance of the four seasons. May Day, Beltane. What they call May Day today? Memorial Day. Huh? May Day or Beltane, falling midday between the spring equinox and the summer solstice, May 31st. May Day celebrates the height of spring and its abundance, right? Because, next month, summer comes in, June 22nd, 2020 something. All right. Ancient Romans celebrated with Floria, a festival of flowers dedicated to the goddess Flora, whose power to make the fruit trees blossom would mean a strong crop harvest later in the year. In Celtic Britain, Beltane celebrated spring reaching its height in the anticipation of the summer to come. Bonfires would be lit in fields, and people and cattle would walk around them, sometimes jumping through or over the fires for luck. The home fires, burning hearths, will be put out and relit using flames from the Beltane bonfires to usher more luck into the home, and dwellings would be decorated with fresh flowers from the fields. There you have it. That's just 6. Now, I was on the phone with my brother the other day, and I was looking up, and matter of fact, let me show y'all. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Different holidays of the year. Let me see if I can find it. National holiday calendar. Is this it? Nah, this ain't it. Where is it at? Mom, I'm talking about it had all the holidays. I'm talking about national calendar. Is this it? This it. Y'all check this out. These folks got a day for every day. Every day. And they got multiple celebrations for one day. Look at this. Look at this. It's just January 1st. Of course, this
2025, but I mean, still today. They got New Year's Day, National Bloody Mary Day. All of this is on January 1st. What is National Doodle Day? National Doodle Day, it says mark your calendars for, what did I say? They don't mean Marcus. September 26th, because it's National Doodle Day, a celebration for creativity, imagination, and the simple joy of scribbling. Whether you're an artist or someone who just loves to doodle in the margins of a notebook, this day invites everyone to pick up a pen and let their ideas flow. What? See, y'all didn't even see that. Hold on. Y'all didn't even see that. Doodle Day. Doodle Day is a day to pick up a pen and let your ideas flow by scribbling in a notebook. It still wasn't showing. Okay, now y'all see it. I'll pray. Yeah, just go pick up a notebook and scribble so you can celebrate Doodle Day. This stuff is ignorant. All right. And then on January 1st, you have International Public Domain Day. You have Dry January Day. Oh, okay. Okay, I won't click nothing else. Okay. You got mad. Yeah, Dry January Day. Veganuary. Let's hold on. We got Veganuary. Frankenstein Day. Boston Tea Party Anniversary. National Hobby Month. National Hangover Day. Emancipation Proclamation Anniversary. National Chocolate Covered Cherry Day. All right. I'm talking about they got a day for everything. And then you jump down here to the 4th. They have something called National Spaghetti Day. World Hypnotism Day. National Ribbon Skirt Day. National Trivia Day. Like, bruh, let's go to December. Where we at? We on the 25th. So Christmas Day is the only something they have for the 25th. But on the 26th, you have No Interruptions Day, Boxing Day, Kwanzaa. And then tomorrow is National Fruitcake Day, International Day of Epidemic Preparedness. Like, this stuff don't make no sense. It don't make any sense at all. National Leftovers Day. And then on the 28th, Sunday, they have National Chocolate Candy Day, National Card Playing Day. So everybody gather together and, get your card playing on. National Short Film Day, Pledge of Allegiance Day. National Download Day. National Download Day. Now, see, this right here, if nothing else shows you, this right here should show you these people these pagans, these haters of God, these haters of the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob will make up any and everything to keep them from being obedient to what's written in the Bible. National Download Day. Bro, that don't make no sense. I'm gonna end it right there. We had 2.5 hour mark. I'm gonna end it right there. And I'm gonna leave y'all with this. I'm gonna leave y'all with a couple scriptures. Here. Oh, I'm getting stuffy. Here. Revelation 24:14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. For because without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. One more, second witness. Sirach chapter 19, verse 19. Sirach 19 and verse 19. The knowledge of the commandments of the Most High is the doctrine of life, and they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. The fear of the Most High is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law and the knowledge of his omnipotency. So if it ain't found in the law, we shouldn't be putting any knowledge, any strength to performing it. All our wisdom and our knowledge should be in performing the law of the Most High, because his commandments are the doctrine of life. And with that, bid y'all Shabbat Shalom. I hope this was edifying. I hope we got some understanding. Y'all like, share, and subscribe. And I pray y'all have a blessed rest of y'all Shabbat. Pray the Most High keep y'all. Pray the Most High guide y'all. Pray he cause his face to shine upon y'all, and he give y'all peace. Shalom.
on the winning side, you a loser. Before you start to run this race, tie your shoes up. Kingdom the mission, do the work, don't be a snoozer. You heard me? Yeah. Luke 12 and 49, we sparking the fire. The Ruach had you shining brighter than the stars in the sky. 2020, but can't see cause it's a log in your eye. Don't join this army if your heart is about as small as a fly. Make your call in the election sure cause ain't no switching up. Spiritual bench press, his name is what I'm lifting up. This ain't no easy walk, but I am never giving up. Follow my king till I'm in that bag and they zip it up. Hey.